All right, we're here live, and we're ready to start the Powerlifting America pregame show. We've got an exciting session ahead of us here. We've got the 83-kilo men and the 69-kilo women. This is definitely going to be one of the most talked about sessions of the week. In the 83s, we've got our guy Delaney Wallace out there trying to go back-to-back for the World Championships. And then in the 69-kilo class, we've got Chelsea Savitt, the national champion, and she's coming into a stacked weight class with one of the greatest lifters of all time, Leah Bavois, in the weight class, which is for sure going to help fill up the crowd. It's going to be a packed house. It's going to be a super exciting session. What are your thoughts on it off the top there, Mike?
So, we'll just start with, let's first discuss a little bit the 69, since they're going to be going first.
Yeah.
This class is going to be stacked. So, first off, we got Leah Bavois. She's moving up officially from the 63s. She has put up some of the best performances in the history of powerlifting. She, now doesn't have to worry about making weight. We'll see exactly where she goes with her total, but she's going to put up something probably historic. She's probably going to try to push for best overall lifter.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. We've got a ton of lifters.
She's on a redemption arc, right? Since Worlds last year, she's balled out at a couple competitions since then. She did well at Sheffield, but yeah, she's definitely back at the World Championships and not worrying about making weight.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, last year she was supposed to compete in the 63s and she missed weight. Unfortunately, she couldn't compete. And then since then, she's been on a tear. She competed at the UK Arnold, where she intentionally made weight. She could have gone up to 69 already, but she stayed 63 to show that she could do it. She broke the world record. She then killed in Sheffield, even though she came in somewhat hurt. So now I think, as far as I know, she's healthy and she's ready to push something massive. But we got plenty of other stars in this class. So we have Marte Jenner from Norway. She's coming in nominated second. She's been in a bunch of battles the last couple of years in the 69s with Chandler Babb, who's not here this year. I think she had to drop out for whatever reason, but she is not competing. But what's crazy about this class is what comes right after that. So we have, from 3 through 8, we have 6 lifters separated by 9 kilos.
Wow.
So
that's exciting.
Yeah, this is going to be and not just that, but these are all lifters who are pushing past that. So we got we'll start with our girl Chelsea. She's nominated in 3rd, right, with a 515.5 kilo total. If you've watched her training at all, she's been killing it. She's been hitting rep PRs on everything. I would say she probably, she herself was saying it. She's probably going to look to PR on all 3 lifts at this comp, and I think on a good day, she'll be pushing into the mid 520s, maybe close to 530, which is just a phenomenal total.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been in high spirits. She's been here for a while. She's having fun. She's got her husband out here with her. She's got a great team. Kedra Kwan is doing her nutrition. She's in there. I talked to her probably maybe 3 hours ago, and she was already at body weight. She was eating actually some food, so she's feeling really good. She's not gonna be stressed out. The travel didn't affect her, so I think she is gonna put up the biggest performance she's ever done. If you go back and you listen to the press conference that we did with her a few days ago, 2 days out, she said that she's definitely going to be throwing down the biggest performance she's ever done. And so I believe her, because her training is going off. And like I said, all the other variables, she's checked all the boxes. So I think she's in for a historic performance for herself. It's a comeback story too. If you listen to the podcast, the interview that we did with her, she had could have been easily a career-ending back injury that she had to go through all these surgeries and things like this. And the last time before the back surgery that she was at the World Championships, she pulled for the podium, and I believe it just slipped out of her hand, and she ended up missing the podium to Isabella von Weissenberg at the time, ended up beating her out. And so now the script has been flipped, and we have her coming in nominated 3rd, a favorite for the podium. And for the first time, she's actually a favorite to be on the podium. And so we'll see. It'll definitely be a great redemption story to see all the things that she's gone through, coming back from this massive surgery that almost had her out of the sport. She's hitting PRs, and all she has left to do is to put it on the platform. And so I'm so excited for her. And just, it's an inspiration story. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy coming back from like major back injuries. She had a spinal fusion surgery, which is like, we're not talking some small minor injury. These are major injuries.
Yeah.
She's come back. She finally, like over this last year, has come back to full strength, past where she was prior to injuries. She's pushing numbers on all 3 lifts, and she likely will PR all 3 lifts, which will likely be necessary because coming in right behind her, we've got a bunch of lifters who are, I mean, they're all just pushing. We got coming in 4th in the nominations, we got Sarah Naldi. She's an Italian lifter who recently moved up from the 63s to the 69s because Italy is pretty stacked in the 63s. I mean,
We saw that the other day.
They took 1st and 3rd the other day. So she moved up to the 69s. So moving up a weight class, her total right now is 513, but now with an extra weight class, I assume she'll probably push that a little bit further. Then in 5th,
she's very young.
She's just out of the juniors. I mean,
so she's going to be making fast progress. This total that she's nominated with, the 513, you got to expect as someone who's a junior in that junior age category that she's going to be putting more kilos on her total for sure.
Yeah, and then Clara Perud coming in 5th. She's been on an absolute tear recently. I believe she won Junior Worlds. Then at Euros she had a massive PR and she won the Junior 69s in one of the most stacked classes I've ever seen at Euros, with like 5 lifters totaling over 500 as juniors. I mean, she had a phenomenal performance, and training since then has looked even better. She's been hitting PRs in the gym. I think she's a young lifter. She's 21 years old.
Yeah.
She's another lifter
she is a junior.
Yeah, I mean, she's still got years in the juniors. Like,
yeah. So I mean, she's just taking dubs everywhere she goes. Though I mean, she was at the World Championships last year, in the 63. Was she in the 69s last year? Yeah, she was in the 69s last year. So she's got World Championship, Open Classic World Championship experience. Definitely a very strong contender, getting stronger by the year. She's with the strength guys, right? I mean, she's a coach with them.
Yeah,
she's one really smart lifter as well. So she's going to be well handled and on point.
Yeah. So, and then we have 3 other lifters also literally 1.5 kilos separated.
Wow.
So, I mean, this can be a battle from all fronts.
I mean, wow, 9th place, Iris Schulten. I mean, she's
already
a boss.
Went in the earlier flight. I'm not sure what she totaled.
Okay.
I don't have the numbers.
Oh yeah, because she's in 9th.
Yeah. So
wow. So she was in the battle last year at Worlds, and now she's in the B flight. That's how stacked
she was tied for first place last year, and she's in the B flight. It's just, I mean, this class just runs deep. This is one of the more competitive classes in powerlifting. And we're gonna see it at the top. I mean, we're gonna see it tonight. We might see a record-breaking performance at the literal top, as well as seeing multiple. I think we might have 5 lifters total over 520.
That would be exciting. That would be amazing.
It'll be a huge battle for the podium. Like, you're gonna have to make lifts because when you have literally 6 people fighting for one spot, or potentially one spot, then you got to execute. You got to hit big lifts. Like, you can't be. Like Gavin was saying the other day, you can't just be hitting 9 for 9 conservative. You do that, you're going to end up in 8th.
Yep.
You got to be hitting lifts, and you got to be pushing. So we're going to see that.
And then, I mean, like we said, and then the headliner, we got Leah in this. She brings a lot of attention. She's going to have the French team. They're going to fill the crowd.
I mean,
they're going to be going crazy.
So obviously, if you are watching this on the stream, you are probably not in the venue. But just to give a little update, so these last few sessions have been absolutely packed. Every seat was filled. They actually brought out a thing with some more seats, so more people can sit. But even so, I guarantee it's going to be standing room only by the time the session starts tonight.
Yeah, because we got stars all over the place in this one. So not to be outdone, we've got the 83s where we're going to have a historic battle happening as well. We've got our guy nominated number 1, the world champion, the reigning world champ. He's going 2 times. That's Delaney Wallace. And he's nominated 15 kilos ahead of Jurens Kengamu. Delaney's got the 835 total from Sheffield. Jurens did an 820.5 at the British Nationals. So they're close. What's your take on how close this battle is? I mean, is it closer than these numbers would reveal?
Yeah, so I would say this battle is closer than the numbers. Jones did 820 at 820.5 at British Nationals for a big PR. So you might think that like he's tapped out, but he had more room. His training has gone phenomenal. So, and Delaney's training like he hasn't been posting, but let's just say Delaney's pushing it. I mean, Delaney said on his press conference, if you're going to want to beat me, it's not about breaking the world record. It's by how much you want to break the world record. Delaney's coming in here. His motivation's at an all-time high. He went to break the 83 world record at Sheffield. He got close. He took his last pull, and for the record, he missed it at close to lockout. But he's back, and he's back with a fury. His bench has been popping off. He showed us some lifts that he didn't post. His bench is phenomenal. He is looking to hit a bench PR. He's looking to hit a deadlift PR, probably a small squat PR also, but that's more, he'll probably play that a little safer earlier on to start the meet on the right foot. But Delaney's looking to go 841 plus, probably somewhere, I mean, I think ideally he probably wants to go mid to upper 840s. Like, I don't think he wants to just chip the record. He wants to convincingly break it. And Jurns is coming hot. Jurns is here for the battle, so Jurns is going to be pushing as well. And then just this class is just entertaining because we got two other lifters in this class that likely are fighting for the third spot and not for the top two spot that have some of the craziest deadlifts you've ever seen. I was looking at the nominations earlier in the day, and something I noticed is that we have 8 lifters in our A flight. Delaney currently has the 5th deadlift of the 8 lifters with 330.
Wow.
A few years ago, I remember there was a great session of the 83s where they were tossing around the world record deadlift. It got broken like 5 times. The world record deadlift then was 330. Now, coming in with a 330 nomination, you're not even going to get a deadlift medal.
Wow.
Like, there's almost no shot he gets a deadlift medal. Like, you will guaranteed see 2 people attempt an 800-pound deadlift, and that's a minimum. Mm-hmm. It might be 800, it might be 830 for all you know. You know what? I got a soundbite from Ina the other day. I wish I had recorded. Mm-hmm. But he told me if he had to load 880, 400 kilos for us for the podium or for whatever spot is needed, he would load it. So,
wow.
I mean, his training is going well. He hasn't really been posting some of it. He's been posting the last rep of his sets and pretending that it's not going well.
Yeah. He's let a rumor spread that he's injured, but he's not injured at all. So,
yeah, he is
he's
not
playing
injured.
Some games.
Yeah, we got rumors on both sides. We have rumors saying he's injured. We have rumors saying he took a 320 kilo squat, which obviously I don't believe, seeing that that's 50 kilos over his actual squat. But yeah, so I do believe he's healthy. I do believe he's going to push. I do believe he's going to pull for either that third spot or second spot, depending on whether Jurns is on or not. Like, if Jurns is on, it's really going to become a big battle for third rather than second, which is actually great because then we'll have a headway battle for the gold, like 1 versus 2, both pushing, both hitting big numbers, and then we're going to have numerous lifters right behind them all pushing for that third spot, as well as not even in the primetime session, Jack Soderberg of Sweden, he totaled 787.5 in the B flight.
Wow.
So there's already a number, meaning that there's already a number that you have to beat for that third spot.
That would put him in 7th place as far as the nominations are concerned.
Yeah, I mean.
So that's crazy.
All these lifters are. So I'll just give a little more background on some of these other lifters. So I mentioned Nick Manders and Ina as being huge deadlifters. So Ina, if you guys don't know, loaded 388 kilos or something in that range last year at Worlds to pull for the win. He got it to his knees, couldn't lock it out. It was insane. I wasn't there, but from what I was heard, it was the loudest it's ever been at any powerlifting event. Mm-hmm. It was insanity. Like, even you can even see on the stream, if you guys rewatch the stream, just like, you don't even need to watch the stream. Just go to the end of the 83s. Like, you can watch it for 2 minutes, and you'll see, like, the insanity. So that's just a little background on Ina. He's still, like, a pretty young lifter. He's, like, I believe this is his first year out of the juniors.
Yeah, he's a Joy Flex athlete. He's being coached by William Squats. What's his full name? William, I don't know. It's
I don't know,
Williams.
it's Will
Williams
Squats,
Williams
yeah.
Squats. He's out in the hallway. It's a little bit bittersweet because we've got obviously another Joey flex lifter, Delaney Wallace, in the same flight. So we've got a little bit of a battle between two different flex lifters in there. And William will be handling Ina. And we'll have the Team USA coaches handling Delaney, and as well as Chelsea. So, they're both going to be in good hands. But, I mean, you said that he might pull for second or might be pulling for third. But if history is any indicator, he's going to pull for the win. I mean, he's going to load up what it takes to win. It's just a matter of if he's being honest with us, which if you know anything about Delaney, I mean, the man doesn't tell any lies. He says he's going to break the world record. So if he is on point, if everything's going great, then maybe it will get Ina to try to pull for podium or pull for something. But I don't know. When you have such a big deadlift, it's tempting to just try to pull for the win like he did last time.
No, it's definitely true. I mean, Ina said he's going to try to lure Russ back into the IPF, which obviously at this point we see that Russ's own teammate is going to be luring Russ back to the IPF.
Yeah.
Delaney's his teammate. Delaney currently has the second biggest total at 83 ever. Hopefully we might have some big news about that at a later date. But either way, I don't see a scenario where Delaney has a good day and Ina pulls for the win. He has a huge deadlift, but I just don't think that will be within reach reasonably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, his big problem is he has a very mediocre bench, which is going to hold him back. So I don't really think at this he's going to be pulling for the win. But, so who else? Okay, so that's a little on him. Nick Manders, a little on him is he's also just out of the juniors. He was in a good battle at Junior Worlds with Sean Jin, the American who won Junior Worlds. He loaded for the win there as well with like an 808-pound deadlift, which he got off the ground but couldn't finish that. He recently won Canadian Nationals against fellow just out of the junior Adam Jansen, who's also in this primetime session. They both they both totaled 791, and Nick won on body weight. They're both going to be here, and they're both going to be bringing their best, trying to push into the 800s. Then we got Edo from Italy. He also was at Junior Worlds. He actually he squatted 303 kilos at Junior Worlds to break John Hack's junior world record squat, which had been standing for about 7 or 8 years. It was one of the longer standing records in powerlifting and was a pretty impressive thing. And then he had an even bigger total at Euros. He looks like he's on the come up, and he's nominated third and will be trying to push even further into the 800s. He's already at 800. He's going to want more than that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's just a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an exciting session. I mean, I think at the top, obviously, we've got the battle coming from Powerlifting America, Team USA. Obviously, we hope it's not a battle. We hope that Delaney runs away with this one. But I mean, Jerns is a formidable competitor. He's been here all week. He's confident. He's definitely been talking. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be exciting to see.
I actually think that Delaney would disagree with that. Delaney wants it to be a battle. Delaney does not want to run away with this. Yeah. Delaney wants to break the world record and push and have someone at his. I mean, obviously he wants to win, and hopefully he will win, and he's nominated to win, all that stuff. But Delaney is a competitor. He wants this to be. He doesn't want to come in and just beat some class of lifters who just weren't on the same level as him.
Yeah.
He wants everyone to level up. He wants them to perform, and he wants to let. You know what? You want it? Load 400 kilos. Yeah. Load what it is. Yeah. That's what he wants. He wants some competitiveness. So I think it will be. I mean, likely we're gonna have a battle at the top, and then another like the other weight class, like the 69s, have another very good battle for the podium. So.
Plus, I mean, if he wants to go well beyond the world record, he's going to have to convince his coach to put those numbers in, and they're not going to say yes unless there's someone there pushing for it, you know?
Right.
So, like, if he wants to just – obviously, they've got a game plan. We talked to him in advance that they're definitely going to try and break the world record regardless of what's going on. I mean, they want to secure the dub first and foremost, and then they want to try to break the world record. But I know that they'll be looking forward to Sheffield, and so it's a question of how far do you want to push that world record. And I know, you know, that their coaching in the past, they have basically held them back so that they can break those world records and secure the bag at Sheffield. So I think you're right. If Jerns is there nipping on his heels and pushing him to go further, that's what Delaney will want.
So it's a very interesting take. Like we've spoken to multiple different lifters who were at Sheffield or will be at Sheffield, and you can all have a different outlook, right? There's the mentality that some lifters have had in the past, which is just win worlds with your lowest total and then leave it all for Sheffield so you can break the record. And then you have the lifters who are like, I'm gonna burn my ships. Like I don't want to do the minimum. I want to do the maximum. I want to leave an impact. I want this performance to be something that's remembered. So some people, like, they want to push, and they don't care if it might end up negatively impacting them. Also, I would view it a little differently because you have, like, two categories of powerlifters. You have those who, like, they powerlift and they have sponsorships, they coach or whatever. Like, that is their business, right?
Yeah.
It's through powerlifting. And then you have people like Delaney who actually, like, he has a whole, he's the world's strongest accountant. He has his own separate business. Like, powerlifting is something he does and something that he's really good at, something he's a world champion at, and hoping to make it a 2-time world champion. But that's not his livelihood. So I think it's a little different. Like, for someone like that, like Sheffield's very nice, right? It's there's a ton of fans. It's very well produced.
He's gonna be there.
But it's more of like, it's a celebrity meet, right? You're fighting a battle of points versus like head to head. You're fighting against like only a few lifters as opposed to like a whole. That Worlds is where you put your mark. It's kilos. There's no points involved. It's how many kilos can you load on the bar.
It's the legacy. How many times? I mean, being a 2-time world champion. I mean, that's very few people have done that, especially going back to back. So, yeah, I agree with you. He'll probably focus on getting the dub, breaking the world record, putting on a show. We know Delaney's a showman, and if he's in a battle, then that'll just determine how far beyond they're going to go. He said it in the press conference. He said it's not a question of if we're breaking the world record. It's only a question of if by how much. So I take him at his word.
Yeah, I mean,
the man doesn't tell any lies.
We're talking about legacies and 2-time world champ. I mean, this is a weight class that, like, that's what it's been. First, we had this weight class. I would arguably say is the weight class that's like one of the most legacy weight classes. Like, you have weight classes like the super heavies, where Ray just dominated for years, and now Jesus. But this is a weight class that's just been passed over from
Brett
elite.
Gibbs.
We have Brett Gibbs. We have the first real hyped battle in powerlifting. Brett Gibbs versus Sean Hack, 2016 in Killeen, Texas. That battle was hyped. It lived up to it. We've had Brett Gibbs winning world championships. We have John Hack, who might be the most noticeable person in powerlifting, winning world championships in this weight class. Then we go from John Hack to another battle. We got Brett Gibbs versus Russell Orhe, who theoretically might be the other person who might be the most well-known person
the biggest superstar in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, this weight class has just bred superstars. Yeah. We've had John Hack, Russ, Brett Gibbs, now Delaney. I mean,
and Jerns too. I mean, Jerns has got a swag to him as well. Like, Jerns is definitely a star in the making too. So I mean, yeah, this class. I mean, we got Nick Manders, the soundbite machine,
personality.
Yeah,
I tell you, look at Nick Manders. Look at look at their Instagrams. Just the memes they're posting. Whatever. Yeah. Last year at Junior Worlds, Nick Manders was in the warm-up room posting memes in between his squat attempts.
Yeah.
Some people are all there with headphones on, all focused. No, he's posting memes. His second squat got overturned by the jury, and he posted a meme in between his second and third squat saying it was a meme with, "I just want to know who did this."
That's hilarious. Yeah. So this is going to be an amazing session. We're in for a real treat tonight. We got a lot of superstars. Speaking of Instagram, make sure you're following powerlifting_America on Instagram. We're posting tons of stuff on the Instagram story, all kinds of updates. We're doing live check-ins throughout the competition. We'll pop up on our story. Like, we'll talk to Delaney after he's done with his third squat, see how it's going, how he's feeling moving into bench, and then again after bench and into deadlift. We've already got a couple stories up there still from yesterday, from their last training sessions, and from this morning when they're walking around weighing in and stuff. So make sure you're following us there, and then also make sure you're checking back in after the session, after awards are over. Here on YouTube, we'll be doing a live press conference with both of the Americans, Chelsea Savitt and Delaney Wallace. We can ask questions. If you got questions, you can drop them in the chat, and we'll definitely ask those questions after the World Championships are over later today. Before we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the session you're about to see, but let's do a little recap of what we just saw. We had a break yesterday for the General Assembly of the IPF. There was some breaking news in there. The big one is that the World Games is now going raw. It's going to be 64 raw athletes and 64 equipped athletes. That's huge for the sport. World Games is basically just a step below the Olympics, so it's a really good sign that raw powerlifting is going to be in the World Games. Just it's an IOC recognized event, so it's extremely important, and it'll elevate the sport. And I think once the International Olympic Committee gets sight of raw powerlifting in the World Games, it'll catapult the sport into possibly getting in raw powerlifting into the Olympics. So that's the goal. But even if they don't, having a multi-sport worldwide competition like the World Games and having our superstars of the raw side of the sport in there is going to just be huge. The other breaking news was announced was that the IPF World Championships have extended their contract with Eurosport, which brings the sport into millions of homes across Europe. They're also going to be broadcasting the European Championships. That's huge. And then the other one big thing for Powerlifting America is that we're going to be hosting the Bench Press World Championships next year in Austin, Texas. So that's great. We actually were just, on other important breaking news, we were voted in as a full voting member of the IPF. Up to this point, we've been a provisional member. So,
is there any update on the 6 countries who voted against that?
No, we don't know the countries that voted against us, but I think it was 3 countries. But yeah, no, we don't know who they were. But it is what it is. But we're a full voting member now of the IPF, so that means that we have a little bit more of a say, that we can actually go through the formal processes to make appeals and push the IPF in the direction that we want to see the sport going in. So that's great. And one of the first vote of confidence that they have in us is that we're going to be hosting the Bench Press World Championships next year in Austin. So that's going to be a fantastic event. Aleco is partnering with us for that. So it's going to be huge. It's in Austin. It's the U.S. headquarters of Aleco. So it's going to be massive. Then the day before that, we had what is up to this point the most epic session so far at these World Championships. It was absolutely packed house. It was so loud in there that it was going crazy. I mean, if you thought the Natalie Richards session was going off, this took it to, if that was at a 10, this took it to an 11, right? So tell us a little bit about, let's first go through Meg Scanlon and the 63s.
So we'll first go through the 63s, which was great, but in my opinion, was honestly just a warm-up compared to the 74s.
You want to go ahead and should we just show all of Meg's lifts real quick?
So, yeah, well, we'll show Meg's lifts first, and then we'll just talk about how the session was for a few of the very notable people/performances.
All right, so we're going to show you all of Meg's 9 attempts right now.
Listen to the commands.
Okay, so there you have it. You saw all 9 of Meg's attempts. She went 8 for 9. She only missed her second bench. She got called on bench depth, went back out and smoked her third on bench. Had just a ridiculously amazing performance. So yeah, what was your take on Meg?
So my takeaway on Meg was this was a phenomenal performance. Obviously, she would like to have won. She faced one of the best competitors ever, but Meg performed. She came in here. She had hit three squats. She had a 5 kilo squat PR with more in the tank. Like it looked like she could have hit another 5. Like it was like comfortable. Her third squat was comfortable. Literally, I was standing next to her coach Kelly Mann, and I turned around and I was just like, what in the world is going on? Yeah. So I mean, squats went well. Bench, she's still dealing with the new bench rules. She hit her opener. She went up 5 kilos. Her second attempt, she got called for bench depth. Honestly, I can't even tell you that I fully understand how bench depth works. Or I also can't tell you that the jury understands how bench depth works. I'm listening to them.
Yeah, you were sitting
I was
right next
listening
to
to
the
them
jury.
like preside over it, and like it sounds like, honestly, I don't think anybody is really like comfortable with the rule. Like there are times, like there are lifts like the ones that they showed on their page that are like super, super high. Or then you could have lifts that are super good, but like all these like small range of motion benches with nice arches and max grip, I don't know. I don't know which ones are bench depth and which ones aren't, because she came back out on her third, 2.5 kilos more, smoked it again in terms of how it moved. It looked the same to me, but that one got white. So
Yeah.
I honestly don't understand bench depth.
It's
but either way.
confusing. I mean, we're going to see it again today. Chelsea is also a bench god like Meg, and she also is, right there when it comes to bench
Who do you
depth.
think benches more today, Chelsea or Meg the other day?
Ooh, I don't know.
Meg bench 127. Chelsea's best is 125, but training's looking good.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would be hard-pressed to pick against Chelsea right now.
I
a
think-
weight class up. I mean, that just tells you, though, Meg is insane. I mean, her bench is... She is a bench god, but she also medaled in all 3 events.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's and Chelsea too. I mean, she's been saying she's not a bench specialist. She's in everything. She's a total specialist. She's got a big squat and she's got a big deadlift too. So, but getting back to Meg, I mean, she was just having fun. I mean, she talked about it in her pre-competition press conference and she talked about it on the podcast that, when she has fun, she does well. And I mean, what did she add to her total from last year? I mean.
So she added 27.5 kilos over the total that she won Worlds with last year.
Yeah.
Just to give perspective. I mean, she hit PRs from Worlds, meaning this compared to Worlds, on all of her lifts.
Yeah.
She had a phenomenal day.
Yeah.
She went 8 for 9. She hit a huge total. She got the silver medal overall. She medaled on squat. She medaled on bench. She medaled on deadlift. But the reason why I was only good enough for silver is one of the other talking points, which is the lifter who won gold.
Yeah.
Carola Gara from Italy. She put up arguably the best performance in the history of powerlifting. She broke Leah's record. She had a phenomenal squat right below the world record. She had a phenomenal bench of 140 kilos. And then she ended up going for the world record on bench and just missed that.
Which is her own world record, by the way.
Yeah, it's her own. I mean, when we talk about bench, like Meg's got a great bench, Chelsea's got a great bench, but Carola might be at this point the second best bencher
of all
ever
time
after Jen Thomason. Mm-hmm. I mean, she has Jen Thompson's bench now.
Yeah.
Jen has the record still in the 69s. She used to have it in the 63s. She has broken the world record bench 40 times. You look at it.
I think Carola just broke it in late 2022.
Yeah.
And that bench record had stood for a long time. I think there's no question that you could argue that Carola Gara is the greatest bencher alive, or the greatest bencher in the open division.
The only reason why
currently.
I stay with Jen is just because she's broken the bench world record literally 100 times. She's done it. Yeah, every year, and even now,
Yeah.
she's a master now. She's still breaking it every competition she does. She's at this point her national bench record, because it's not international at this point. She's benched 148, 149, something like that. Like she's incredible. But Carola is maybe the second best bencher ever, and she's got a
also
phenomenal
good at
squat,
squatting, yeah.
and she has a pretty solid deadlift. I don't think she medaled on deadlift.
No, the only person that medaled on all three was Meg. So.
Right. Yeah. So she did not medal on deadlift. She had the fourth heaviest.
Best,
yeah, the fourth best.
So right off the
actually, no,
podium.
it was the fifth. Somebody in the first flight had a heavier
yeah.
deadlift. But yeah, but I mean, so she put up a phenomenal performance.
Yeah.
And then the last storyline to talk about in that class was Joy Numani. I mean, she is the deadlift god. She is a world champion in the 52 kilo class. She had the 52 record until it was broken just recently. She then moved up to the 57, won multiple world championships in 57, had the 57 world record deadlift, which again was just broken recently. Now she's up in the 63s, at least temporarily. I was talking to her about it the other night. She's not fully decided whether she's going to stay in this class or not, but she loaded 225 kilos for her second deadlift, which was 6 kilos below the world record. She smoked it. But rather than go for the world record deadlift, on her third attempt, she tried to pull into third place, and she loaded 240.5 kilos.
Wow.
That's way above the 63 world record. That's above the 69 world record. That's higher than Kimberly's 69 kilo world record deadlift.
What a specimen.
Yeah, it was insane. She got a 2 lockout. She got 2 reds. It got protested, but didn't get overturned. I don't know whether it was good or not, but it was crazy to watch. The crowd was going nuts. It was a crazy session.
Yeah.
And
so
then
let's talk.
We had the 74s.
Yes, exactly.
Now, the 74s, like we were discussing like on the pregame show or whatever, the 74s were going to be a battle for like the first time in recent history. So we'll start with the person who Taylor's battled in the past. Shell ended up being in the B flight, and Shell put up a pretty good performance. His third deadlift got overturned, so he ended up with a 760 total, and which was good enough for fourth.
Wow.
But we had a 3-way insane battle in the A flight. We had 3 lifters. We got Taylor, our own lifter, obviously. We got Tim Madigatti from New Zealand, who moved down from the 83s. And then we had Junior from Sweden, Carl Johansson. And these lifters, they put on a show.
Yeah, let's start by go ahead and showing all of Taylor's 9 lifts. We'll pop that on, and then we'll come back and we'll give our breakdown of how it went down before getting back to the session that we're about to see today, which is the 83s and the 69s. We'll come back and we'll finish it off with the recap of that. We'll bring Joey Flex over here to talk about his boy, Delaney Wallace. And, so first, let's take a look at Taylor's 9 attempts from 2 nights ago.
What?
That's all right, Taylor.
deadlift record attempt for Taylor Atwood. Bobby Jackson to follow with a deadlift record attempt. Johansson to follow him with a deadlift record attempt. What a time to be alive!
Okay, so we're back, and we are going to discuss the 74 session, which was insane from the other day. So we got Joey on here, who's the coach of the new 74 kilo world champion, Carl Johansson. So, Joey, what were your thoughts on that session in general?
Well, coming in, it was kind of the same mindset that I had going into Sheffield. We don't know what kind of Taylor we're going to get. And I just need to make sure my boys are prepared. And if Taylor's, close to his all-time best, then, he's probably going to steal it. He's going to blow everyone out the water. If he is still nursing an injury or not himself, then he's still going to be tough, but the opportunity to win may present itself, which it did. And, there were some weird things with calls, and there was a missed lift, but sometimes that happens. And one or two lifts that you miss, that knocks you from winning by 20 kilos to like third place. You know what I'm saying? Also I know that Carl's a good deadlifter. His momentum has been like up, so he's been all the qualifying competitions and meets that he had to participate in to get here. He really had to prove himself. He's a junior, so he's doing junior things. And then he got strong enough to where he could be good in the open. And then he did that. And then he ended up earning that spot. His total, when he earned a spot for Worlds, it was much less than what it is now. So we just literally been on that upward trajectory, sort of caught the wave. It lined up perfectly. His deadlift peaked really, really well. And I wasn't sure how he was going to be. After a squat, it seemed a little flat, but there's other aspects. Obviously there's another lifter that I had in the mix, but yeah, I just knew that it could have been the Taylor show. I'm not sure what kind of Taylor we're gonna get, and we just have to take it if it shows up.
Yeah, so that whole outlook, that's exactly coming into the class. I was saying the other day in the preview that if Taylor is Sheffield Taylor, this is a wide open class. If Taylor is peak Taylor, it's a wrap. It's a battle for second.
Yeah.
And Taylor, I think he actually totaled exactly what he did in Sheffield, the exact same number. So it was a battle. And then, I've been a fan of Carl ever since Junior Worlds. Mm-hmm. And I've been watching all his meets, Junior Worlds, Euros, Swedish Nationals, all that. Mm-hmm. And I keep calling him Mr. Sandbag because every time I watch him do a meet, it's like, oh, my God. You got more. I told him.
He lifts very clean, and I think it just makes it look like...
Yeah. That is probably what it is. But... Yeah. But so I've been like, okay, when are we going to see you go all out? And the answer was when he has to face the best 74 lifter of all time in Taylor. And go out he did. He hit a squat PR, even though apparently it wasn't necessarily the best in terms of what he was expecting.
Yeah, I just projected him a little bit higher, but he did have to cut weight, and he was just a little bit off from where... I kind of want him to be, although my expectations were probably a little bit high. Obviously travel. He was dealing with a lot of stress outside the gym coming into training, and I noticed in his training leading up, he was just a little bit more. Something was like slightly off, and I wasn't really too sure what it is. Also, like, have to change his entire taper to peak him on a Tuesday, I believe, which is not normally what we do, but I mean it worked out. It's squat definitely seemed a little bit flat, but it was still, we're still PRing, like we're still moving in the right direction.
I mean, he still put on 6.5 kilos from
Yeah.
Swedish Nationals, and then bench he came out, PR'd again.
Yeah.
And then by the start of deadlifts, I mean, you could see it was going to be something special today. He opened with 305, which at the time still had him in second. He was still behind Taylor. And he smoked that. And it was already clear, like, to anybody who in the stands was watching that, like, had any knowledge, it was like his ceiling today is just high. Where it is, we'll find out. But then, so the way deadlift started is we had a crazy three-way tight battle. Taylor, Monagatti, and Carl were all within 5 kilos. So that was how deadlift started. And Taylor's first deadlift actually looked pretty comfortable. So it looked like there was a lot more, and there was. Then it came to second deadlifts. Carl took a 15-kilo jump and absolutely smoked it. Taylor jumped 17 and a half, and it moved fine. Like, we thought he had more. And Monagatti jumped 17 and a half as well and had more. So coming down to the last deadlifts, we had 3 lifters. Taylor, coming into last deadlifts, was in the lead with 777.5, and then we had 2 lifters right behind him. So this is when it turned into a game, because deciding what was going to be loaded on the third was massive. At this point, there were only 3 lifters that were in contention, and of those 3 lifters, Taylor was going to have to be pulling first of the 3. He had the lowest ceiling on the day.
Yep.
So he took probably a bigger jump than he should have, than was necessarily needed. He was already in the lead, and probably if he only took like a 7.5 kilo or 10 kilo jump and hit that, it would have really pushed the 2 lifters behind him. But he ended up jumping 13 kilos, missing it at a lockout. A lot of people thought this was controversial. I was in the comments, but he never really locked it out. He was soft. He wasn't getting the down command. He just kept like playing with it. But
that was a world record, I believe, correct?
Yeah. The world
attempts.
Yeah, it was 323. The world record had just been set by the French lifter. Had pulled 322.5. So that was his mistake. Is that his attempt was initially like 330 as a placeholder, but he waited until after the French lifter went, and then he was forced at 323, like as opposed to like changing it earlier where he could have put in at 320 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty costly. But then, so we had two lifters left to go to pull for the win. So right immediately following Taylor was a pretty controversial deadlift. Tim Monagatti loaded 324.5 for a new deadlift record. And he got it to lock out, got 2 reds. They went to the jury, and shockingly, from what I saw, it got overturned. What did you think about that?
I was like yelling from the front, like wait till that goes through, because that matters.
Of course.
And I don't remember so the number that he ended up completing, I don't remember. I just remember we got locked in at 328. We had the bluff in there of 400 kg, which basically says, I'm going last. I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna just show you I'm going last. I'm not gonna play games. I'm not gonna try to do anything. I'm gonna go last. So you go ahead and do what you got to do. I'm going last, and that's the correct thing when you're the big deadlifter. So you let everybody do their thing, and then me and my boys say we call the answer to the test. The answer to the test will reveal itself to you. You just put that number in, and then it's up to your lifter to get it. Now, I think Carl was probably good for almost 340. I think 335 or 335.5 might have been, like, if we needed it, I felt like not like super comfortable, but like, yeah, he could do that. And you think about Taylor's missed squat, which opens the door. What was do you know the difference from his second to his third for Taylor, the one that he missed?
Yeah, so it was 7.5 kilos gone.
Yeah, so let's say that's the thing, Larry. If he makes that, he doesn't have to take the jump, right? And then let's say maybe he does 2.5 less than what he missed. or even 3 kilos flat, like less than what he missed. Now his total's looking really juicy,
Right,
and now
17
we
and a half,
gotta.
that's kind of like
you
a
know?
little bit out of reach.
So,
at that
I
point.
think if you look at all the lifters, I think Tim maybe had a little bit more on squat, but if you look at all the lifters, it's between Carl maxing out his deadlift and Taylor getting that squat and pulling a little bit less on deadlift. They were the strongest. I think Taylor might have edged him a little bit, but I heard the OG Matt Gary say this recently in I think it was like a clip on a reel or something. And he's like, powerlifting is about being the best powerlifter. It's not about being, the strongest lifter doesn't always win. And I learned this my very first Worlds, with John Hack. I felt like Gibbs was definitely the stronger lifter, but we were able to make more attempts. And that is where the skill factor comes in. And I really don't see that ever until you're at Worlds. Like until you're at this level when it's that close, where, any little mistake is going to dramatically change a lot of things. Sometimes your path to victory is to play for, you play to win. You got to hit all your lifts, but you're hoping you're like, okay, like this guy's stronger, but we're trying to, hopefully get a missed call. Maybe they miss a lift, maybe another lifter pushes them, and like you said, the lifter before Taylor completed a lift, which is going to make Taylor have to hit a little bit more than that, which put him just barely out of range. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just your time, and sometimes you get it. But I think what's amazing about this is Carl did it as a junior, and I don't know of any juniors that would even think about beating Taylor straight up like that. Granted, he's hurt, a lot of stuff had to go our way, but I mean that's how sports is, right? Like, I mean, how many times in even football, like this team is supposed to win, and there's an upset, something happens, and that's the game that we play. So it was incredible. I mean, I love Taylor. Taylor's I want this to be known. What Taylor has done for this weight class over the last decade cannot be understated. He needs to receive, his flowers too. He's the 74 kg GOAT. He's just a legendary lifter. He has, held that weight class down. He has promoted the sport. He has done so many good things for it. And, of course, when you start to win a lot, you start to you get like a crowd of people that are just waiting for you to fail, right? So for those people, that's fine and all, but Taylor, you got to give him credit for what he's done, and there's a lot of respect from my camp there. There always will be, and I hope that he can get healthy and deal with whatever he needs to fix, and put himself in a position to, really be I mean, man, if he had another PR total in him, and then you get a Carl that's on this upward trajectory. And then maybe we get some more guys coming over. We have this amazing, prestigious weight class where winning that world title in the weight class becomes such a special feat. But yeah, it was an incredible moment. It was absolutely insane. The IPF posted it was just a clip. It was I don't know where the mic was, but it was such raw footage of just audio, and it was just it was insane. It was you can't even describe it. It's it was very Sheffield-esque. I'll say that. The feels that I had that day was very similar to some of the lifts at Sheffield.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't at Sheffield obviously, but just every single seat in the house, everybody was standing.
Yeah.
There was standing room only. Everyone was standing, screaming before Carl even came out to take the lift. As soon as it was announced, everybody started screaming, and they did it throughout the lift. The place was nuts. And then he jumped into the stands. It was just,
oh my God,
the atmosphere was crazy.
I don't even know what happened, but they had this the little tether rail thing. It was just off. Someone just took it off. So we just he tackled me, and then we just went crazy. It was, it was something. It's something that could possibly happen, but you're not sure it's gonna happen. Like I said, if Taylor's perfect, he's gonna win. And we kind of knew that, and that's how much respect we give him, right? There's not many lifters I'll be yo, he's the stronger guy. If he wants to win this, then and I've been in the opposite seat too. I know that if my guy's stronger, it's all about execution. You want to be a little bit safer because if Taylor pulls 2.5 less, then maybe everybody else is in a bad spot. Because now, that's another 10 keys on his total instead of jumping that 13, or that would help tremendously. So I might be slightly off with the math, but you guys get what I'm saying. Anything that he was able to add to his total is going to pull from the other guys, and that's going to increase the chances of Taylor winning. So attempt selection is like super, super, super important at this level. Taylor's the GOAT. I'm sure he'll be back. And it was like super fun. And those are the moments that you live for, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good segue to the next class where you do have the lifter who is the strongest lifter coming in. So we got the openers all updated. So Delaney obviously came in with the highest nominated total, and his openers equal to 772.5, which is.
We'll know that there's some. I'm not saying we would do this.
Potentially some.
I'm not saying we would do this, but I'm just saying that it is possible that some of these guys are bluffing. So you just want to watch out for those things and just kind of like and be careful. But I do believe this weight class as well is one of those weight classes where if you're ahead, I mean look at this, like how close it is. Like if all those numbers are real, like everybody has to make their lifts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, this weight class. You have two separate battles. You got a battle for the gold and then a battle for the bronze. So Delaney is coming in, the previous reigning world champion. Phenomenal performance in Sheffield, 835, pulled to try to take Russ' world record. Got very close. He's coming back, and he plans on breaking that. I mean, he said in his press conference that if somebody wants to beat him, it's not a matter of will they break the world record, it's by how much. I mean, Delaney's coming in, he's confident. But we got another confident lifter in second. Jurens Kingamu from Great Britain. He put up an 820.5 at the British Nats, a pretty comfortable 820.5. More's there. We're yet to see how much he does have in the tank, but he's going to be trying to show that tonight. So that's going to be the main headline of this battle. So we're going to see how far they can both push it. They're both going to have to push to win, and Delaney's got the advantage. And
making lifts is going to be incredibly important for that battle. I think. Do you want to call him Jurens, right?
Yeah.
He is fighting from a place that I feel is like, if everyone expects you to lose, you kind of have that extra like chip on your shoulder. And trust me, not everyone thinks he's going to lose, but you have that chip on your shoulder. You feel it's a little bit easier to be the underdog sometimes because I mean if you don't win, like everyone expected that, it's not a big deal. But if you really only have stuff to gain pretty much, right? Whereas Delaney, he's already a champion. He's done it all, and you're kind of like fighting to maintain what you have. It was like a weird thing, right? Like you're fighting to keep what you have versus fighting to earn something. Now he can earn another world title. He can prove himself even more. I do believe I could be off, but Jurens, if you look at his body weights, in his last competitions, the highest body weight that he had his best total, which makes sense, and he might still be on the upper trajectory. I do believe we are heavier this one weighing in.
Yeah,
but slightly. So, it's gonna be a good fight. I respect him. I respect this whole class. Honestly, this class is a very, very special weight class to me, as you might know.
This class is. Joey's coached tons and tons of world champions, national champions, but the 83s, if you just look through the list of just like the top 15 ever. Yeah. I was looking through it today because I was trying to compare like the American versus the like international 83s, and I'm just looking through the list and I'm like, okay, we got John Hack, we got Russ, we got Sean, we got
Gruden,
we got Deuce, we got and we got
Delaney.
we got Delaney, we got Ian's a flex sport. I mean, the 83s are just and this class, besides for those two, so the battle for the podium. We have two of the best deadlifters, probably ever in any weight class in this. We have
Nick and Ina,
So Nick and Ina. Ina's opening with 332.5, which would have been
a bamboozle. We don't know, but that's
he's not opening with less than that. If anything, that goes.
Enos got a big deadlift, man. He can pull.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
He's
if,
gonna keep you on
if
the edge of
anything
your
that
seat.
goes up, I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I actually talked, the other night for a while. His posting's been interesting. He's told me he posted a lot of like last reps of sets, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean his training's going off. He's opening with 332.5 as of now, which just for perspective would have been the world record deadlift like 2 years ago, and that he's opening with that. And what's crazy is that Nick Manders is opening 340.
Yeah.
So I expect to see both of them third attempts be at least 800 pounds. We'll see.
It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. We're only on the 83s, and we're already talking about 800 pounds. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. I was mentioning earlier when we just gave a brief overview of the class at the beginning of the show that Delaney's coming in with a 330 deadlift, and that's of the 8 primetime lifters. That's only the 5th highest.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That 330 is not. It's on the lower end of these deadlifters.
Yeah, he has hit. I think he posted a 340, but that's like his top, and that's literally Nick's opener.
Yeah,
So-
Delaney's opening with 302.5 at least according to the sheet, and that's the 6th highest opener. I mean, it's just nuts. We're gonna see it's also gonna make for a very interesting thing in terms of like third attempts, like in terms of changes,
Yeah.
because
Those guys are gonna kind of lock people
Right.
into certain things
Yeah.
and push them out where you might not get an opportunity to do a big bluff on a deadlift because you're gonna
right.
get
I was thinking about
screwed.
that because
Yeah.
like a lot of times when you have like 2 people battling for gold, very often they're gonna be the 2 highest deadlifters, and like that leads to a lot of like changes and gaming. But when you have 2 deadlifters who are probably gonna be battling more for bronze or whatever, 4th. And then they're going to be pulling way more. So, like, they're going to be, I don't know, 360, 370, who knows, 380, whatever it is. But the point is, what you actually load is interesting because you can't just put in, like, 400 like Carl did and say, okay, I'll put in what I need because
you're not the biggest deadlifter.
you're not the biggest deadlifter.
yeah,
So
there's-
it'll make a very interesting
There'll be less games for sure. It's definitely going to come down to execution. And this is like I said, like Delaney is fighting from a place of he is stronger, so he does have some comfort, but I mean literally if he misses one lift, like now we're no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Now you're fighting for your life. So it's going to be very interesting. And then those big deadlifters, they do have pretty good totals as well. They're going to be looking for, okay, which one of those guys made a mistake? Can I take them out? You know what I'm saying? So it's literally like, it's such a, like you get punished for missing and then you get punished again by the deadlifter.
Right.
So it's like
So,
all these things come
I mean,
down.
it's weird because like Delaney's the strongest lifter in this class, but like we said, he doesn't have the biggest deadlift. So
Yeah.
obviously the much bigger deadlifters will be pulling later, but if things are going how they should, they're not going to be pulling for Delaney. But Jurens also has a little bit of a bigger deadlift, so and is the lighter lifter, so he will likely be if he's in position, like if it's realistic, he'll be pulling for the win. So
Yeah.
it makes it all the more important that Delaney's just got to hit all of his
Does he have
lifts.
a lot number? Yeah, I think he does have a lot number. Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we got to see. Like I said this in a different interview or press conference that like you got to give the opposition lots of respect and know that assume they're going to come in good. They're going to come in strong, and you got to do your very best. At this level, everybody has like a nutritionist. Everybody has a coach. Everybody, like, things are very like min-maxed. You know what I mean? Like they have all the little details covered. So you're gonna have less opportunities for these like little things to like come up or small little mistakes here and there. It's just not gonna happen at this level. There's too much at stake. These coaches know what it means to compete at this level, and they know like you like any mistake is severe, is like very, very punished. And with the way things are evolving and increasing, you may not ever have an opportunity again to be here. So it's and it puts a lot of pressure on everybody to execute. You have to. So yeah, that's what makes it fun. It also is like nerve-wracking, but me sitting here with Delaney, who's like the strongest, versus like sitting here with an Amanda, who's the strongest, or Jesus, it's very different because like
Right. I mean,
you may miss a couple lifts with them, it doesn't matter. But with this, it's like literal dreams get crushed.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Amanda earlier, like after the press conference, like when she was saying how like she was upset about Sheffield, she had like a world-breaking performance, but just with the current structure, like she didn't podium, and that like upset her. And I was like, you have to realize that you have been so dominant in the weight class.
Yeah.
That you're at a point where there's only one lifter that's like you. You and Jesus.
Yeah.
You're the only two lifters that you come to the meet. You take openers and you win. That's it. Like
go home. Yeah.
You go home. Like obviously you're not here to do that. Like you're
Yeah.
not just trying to stack chips. Like
No,
do
we want-
nothing. You're trying to put up like it doesn't always have to be a world record performance, but you're trying to put up like big performances.
Yeah.
But it's a crazy position to be in. But then you have weight classes like we got here with Delaney, and then tomorrow it's going to be even crazier with Keiko, where like you got people coming at you. Like there's
Yeah.
no you need to A, make lifts, and B, push. Like you can't just chill.
Yeah, and that's where precision comes in. That's where you need teamwork, and so we live for though. So we live for like no matter what happens, it's fun. I'm not too versed on that. It would be more like social things about them, and not too like I wouldn't know too much about their lifting. But yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just pull up the sheet.
This clip of Delaney.
Oh, you have a clip of Delaney?
Oh snap!
Is it on?
Yeah, actually, hold on. Where's my piece of paper over here that I had written stuff down?
Which one? Oh, it's on the back of a sheet somewhere.
All right,
What-
you guys wrap up. Just say thanks or whatever, Joey.
Yeah.
We'll pop you out.
What's the clip of Delaney?
It's up in coming out of the weigh-ins.
Oh, you took a video. Okay.
All right.
Do we start now?
No, so you guys can, and then Joey will basically, you'll pop off whenever
Yeah.
this is on. So just say goodbye. And say,
Yeah. Just tell me when.
Right now.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for having me. I hope that was somewhat entertaining for you guys. And yeah, it's game time.
All right. Thank you, Joey. Mike, thank you.
Thanks, Joey. Let's get it tonight.
It's a professional production.
What's up, baby?
How we doing?
Weighed in at 82.8. Now we just going to get some refeed in. Got my rice, got my honey, everything else. Showtime. 2-time, baby. 2-time.
Yeah. How you feeling? You in high spirits?
Feel good. You feel good. It's another day in the office. Another
Yeah?
day in the office.
Nice. What do we got here?
Some hydration packets from my sponsor, Titan Nutrition. So try to make sure I don't cramp up. Make sure I'm good and strong. We all set. We all set.
All right, man. Let's go.
Peace.
All right, so we're back. That was the update from our guy Delaney. He's obviously feeling really great out there. Just was in the warm-up room checking him out. He's moving around. He's doing some band drills, some stretches, rolling around. He hasn't taken the squat bar yet, but Chelsea has. And we also have a clip from Chelsea from after weigh-ins that we'll go ahead and play for you right now. Kedrick's doing stuff.
Yeah, I hired a chemist.
All right, Chelsea, how'd weigh-ins go? Did you win?
Great. 68.9. So I would say that's pretty close to winning the weigh-in if you're trying to weigh in as heavy as possible. A slightly better outcome would have been 69.00. But we're satisfied with 68.9. So yeah, we're good.
All right, and how you feeling?
I'm good. Actually managed to hydrate quite a bit before weigh-in. So yeah, I actually feel pretty chill. So trying to conserve energy, I'd say, but I feel pretty chill.
Yeah, you're in good hands. Who do we have here?
We got Kedrick. He is hydrating.
All right.
And then-
What's the hydration plan?
People say I should charge for it, so I'm not sure whether I should tell. So,
All right, we'll leave it there. And who's this?
who is this?
Should I introduce him? That's Andre. He's my husband, and I love him very much. And he also is my handler today. So yeah,
We well handled.
Yes.
9 for 9.
Yes. So we're in good hands.
yeah, we're in good hands.
We're in high spirits.
Yeah,
We got a good squad.
good squad, great squad.
All right,
Yeah,
let's go.
yeah.
All right, so there you have it from our superstars, Chelsea and Delaney. I was just in the warm-up room. Chelsea's already, almost done squatting. I mean, she's getting close to her last couple of warm-up attempts. And just looking around the warm-up room, you can see the person in the 69 kilo weight class that always stands out, the superstar, one of the greatest lifters in the world, arguably the greatest woman lifter right now, other than probably Amanda Lawrence, is Leah Bavois. And she's just dancing around, having fun, smiling from ear to ear. So as we mentioned before, we're talking redemption arc for Leah. I have a feeling, just like if body language is any indicator at all, that she is going to absolutely go off in this session. So if you're at home now and you're watching this, you definitely want to, in about 17 minutes, or is my math wrong? Yeah, 17 minutes or so, tune on over to the Olympics YouTube account and tune in for this session. It's gonna be a packed house. It's gonna be electrifying. Leah's gonna throw down a massive performance. Chelsea Savitt's gonna shock the world. It's gonna be super exciting. So definitely do that. Also, make sure you're following us at powerlifting_America on Instagram. We'll be posting all kinds of stuff. We'll be posting little interviews with the athletes after they get done with squats, in between squat and bench, and between bench and deadlift. We'll give you little updates as we go. We'll also try to just give you little insights, a little behind the scenes stuff that you won't see on the live streams or anywhere else. So make sure you're following us there, and then also make sure you're coming back to our YouTube account after the events are over, after awards are over. We'll bring in Delaney and Joey and Chelsea and her coach, her husband Andre, and yeah, we'll bring them in here for the post-game press conferences like we do for all of these sessions. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube account so you can ask questions during these live broadcasts, and then again, tune in each day about 2 hours, a little bit after weigh-ins. We're going to go live with the pregame shows, and we're going to be doing post-game press conferences with all of our athletes, as we have been throughout all of the world championships. So real quick before we wrap this up, Mike Gold, do you want to talk any more about the 69s?
Yeah, so we got an update. We have all their openers, and took a look at it. And let's just start with, so obviously coming in first, we got Leah, right? So unfortunately, due to some circumstances, I haven't really been able to see her training. But on openers, she has a 517.5 total on openers, which is very, very high. She weighed in pretty light, 65.25. That is very light for a 69, just a little bit over the weight class. I'm assuming that has something to do with her trying to go for best overall lifter. So she would need to probably total in the, upper 560s to do that, which is heavy, but anything's possible. And then second, we have Marte Jenner, who has 500 on openers. And then only a little bit behind, we have 3 through 6 are all between 482.5 and 490. So we have 7.5 kilos separating those four lifters at the moment. I mean, obviously, it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but it's close. Like we said, it should be close. We expect to see a lot of lifters totaling 520 and up. It could only be 3. It could be 6. We'll see how many it is, but they're going to be battling. They're going to be putting up big numbers. Chelsea is 4th on openers. She's opening with 170 on squat, 117.5 on bench. Probably going to look for some big bench today.
She's going to look for the gold medal on bench. She's the reigning gold medalist from last year's
yeah, that's actually that's going to be a tight battle. We have Marte Jenner's opening with 115, as well as Clara Peroud opening 115. So I actually saw Marte Jenner. I was looking at her page earlier today. She hit a 124 double, which is above her current bench PR. So assuming she's in like the 127.5 range, which would be, I think, realistic. So I think all these lifters are probably in that range, like the 127.5, maybe 130. Like for Chelsea, she's the one who, like, I would say is the closest to that. I don't know if she's gonna go for that, but we're gonna see a bench battle there. And then on deadlifts, I mean, these ladies are all really strong. Chelsea's opening with 200 kilos, which is how much? It's pretty close to her deadlift. Her current deadlift is 205.
Yeah. So it gives you a sense of how strong she is, how good her prep has gone, and how she's feeling on the day for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just perspective. If you're opening 5, like, we're not talking about like a local meet or like a year later. If you're opening 5 kilos under your deadlift from a couple of months ago as a international level lifter, that just tells you how well prep's going. Yeah. She's feeling strong. I mean, she said it. But like, after looking at just these numbers, who knows where she is? I mean, definitely 530 is possible.
Yeah.
Like that would be a big PR, and that would put her like. Honestly, that would put her in contention for second. Like we were talking
Yeah.
about how like 1, 2, and then there's a separate thing for third.
No, she's
But, like,
she's there she's fighting for the silver medal
yeah,
for the podium.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's gonna fight for the podium, but it'll come down to deadlifts, and it might be fighting for silver, it might be fighting for bronze, but she's definitely gonna be battling. So,
Yeah.
I mean, all these lifters, of the 8 lifters, the lightest opening deadlift is 195.
Yeah.
That's
It's a tight battle on deadlifts. It's going to come down to the deadlifts, and it's close.
That's just crazy. Like the strength of these deadlifters at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nuts.
The whole weight class is stacked. They're all well-rounded lifters. But hey, we're gonna wrap this up. If you're just now tuning in, scroll back about 15 minutes. We can get a great conversation from Joey Flex. He was in here talking about the 83s. They hyped the hell out of the 83s. If you want to listen to this again, tomorrow, whatever, you can go back and listen to him talk about the epic battle that we saw in the 74s. And then we'll be right back here again with a live post-competition press conference with Delaney and with Chelsea. So, and then just make sure you're following us on Powerlifting_America throughout, and we'll be posting all kinds of behind-the-scenes action that you won't find anywhere else. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream. Thank you for everyone who tuned in, and let's go watch one of the most fun, and I think it'll be one of the most headlining sessions that we have of the entire World Championships. So with that, we'll go ahead and end the stream. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you tune in 10 minutes to watch our lifters lift.
Yep, and we'll see you throughout the rest of these World Championships.